These are brain cells. The exact effect of psychedelic drugs on these and other cells in the human body are not known. LSD, considered by many a psychedelic or mind-expanding drug, may have a place in our society. LSD, or acid, as well as other mind-expanding drugs, has its place in the laboratory and someday might, when proven to be beneficial, serve society. At the moment, the only predictable thing about LSD is its unpredictability.
You are no longer in touch, and really the world is exactly as it is. They are the people who live in this world, make the world. You can't change it by going on a far-out trip. You can't change the world by sitting here and going and swallowing a bunch of pills, smoking a bunch of something, God knows whatever else it may be that you do. You cannot change. You will really make it worse because you are not taking any positive action. And to have positive action, you have to be in command of your mind and your body. And if you take something that makes your mind kind of fuzzy, you're not in command of your body, so you can't do anything. You can think a lot of things, sure. Because I can go sit on top of a mountain for the next 10 years of my life, and heaven knows. You want to be? Do you want to contemplate the world, or do you want to do?
I don't think that we should accept the example that society has shown us with barloads of people consuming alcoholic beverages day after day, 2 drinks before work, 4 to face your wife in the evening.
Then why
this kind of example is brought to us, and they're condoning this, but they won't come back at us. They come back at us, pardon me, with the use of psychedelic drugs as being wrong. Their attitude, you're abusing drugs. If they want to talk about abusing drugs, why don't they go upstairs to their medicine cabinet and start right there with the little pills that you find liled up? I mean, this is completely a poor excuse for people to look down on the psychedelic era. They haven't shown us a thing.
What you are witnessing is not new. It's a generation gap. The typical lack of communication and understanding on the part of parents that kids have complained about for years. The gap in this instance is caused by the illegal hallucinogenic drug LSD. The illegality of the drug is not the basis for separation between parent and child, but the question of why the need for it exists is.
You're just bringing out certain people who are blowing their minds on LSD and taking it for granted that you go on LSD and say we all do, and half of us aren't going to make it.
The point of this conversation isn't LSD or who is taking LSD. It's the point of why do people take LSD? What are you really contributing to society by taking LSD?
You're contributing something to yourself because you're seeing something for yourself.
Yes, but acid has made an awful lot of bums out of an awful lot of people.
No one can relate to LSD unless he's tried it. Dr. Allan Cohen and Hank Harrison have tried it, nearly 150 times between them. Each has turned away from it. Dr. Cohen is a clinical psychologist in the Counseling Center at the University of California in Berkeley. Hank Harrison directs the unique LSD Rescue Mission in San Francisco.
Kids with the new quest going on, coming into the Haight-Ashbury, are actually seeking an adventure. So, and LSD is part of this adventure for them. The tragedy is that it's not always a pleasant adventure, and it has, now that we've looked back on some of our statistics, we've seen people spend many months in mental institutions because of it. Now that's not, of course, the most common. The most common kind of experience that we find is the drunken experience. It's a trip, it feels good, but it goes away. And the promise that they've heard about LSD does not come true.
We have to realize that the instinct in many cases towards the use of psychedelic drugs is perhaps one of the most healthy ones our people can have. I firmly believe that LSD subverts that instinct. and destroys the individual's capability to grow in the way he wants to. I think our task is to separate the profundity of the instinct and the ignorance in trying to actualize that instinct by the use of artificial chemicals. In all honesty, I could never advise someone I loved or cared for or felt well of to take LSD, even once, except in a medically controlled therapeutic situation for specific psychological reasons. And I say that even though I was once very much involved in the LSD movement, convinced that it was the way. Well, it isn't the way.
To the hippie youth of today, this is part of their real world. This is the atmosphere of the Monterey Pop Festival. The music is frantic, the sounds are wild, and the mind is free. After the festival, most of these youths came to rest here, San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury district. They came here seeking fun, freedom, and excitement. They found venereal disease, infectious hepatitis, pneumonia, and LSD. Dr. Cohen and Hank Harrison have tried to expand their minds through the use of LSD, and now know that not even these kids, educated or not, will be able to achieve a true higher consciousness through the use of drugs.
Here's where acid starts to come in.
Exactly.
You get an environment of perceived sterility at home, hypocritical values as seen by the kids. And they say, well, what do
Dad
we
cheats
have?
on his income tax.
What do we have that's ours?
Yeah.
And one of the answers has been, well, our generation has grass, has marijuana and LSD.
And music.
And music.
Rock and roll.
Our
And
music and our
beers and
drugs.
beer.
And you don't like it, and society doesn't like it. And we're going to keep it. We don't want the martinis. We don't
The
want
one way to hurt Mom and Dad more than any way else in the world is to let them know that you've taken LSD. It's like a husband who's unfaithful to his wife. He lets her find out to hurt her. And I find kids doing this a lot. We get calls all the time from parents who are very upset that their children have taken LSD. And when they call us, we find out that they found out through their children that their children let them know, tried to turn them on or something. This is a hostile thing, and I don't find a lot of love there.
And then
Like
there's
that.
this fantastic syndrome of the believability of opposites, such as if any bad guy of the establishment, parent, teacher, official, government person, says LSD is bad for you, the immediate assumption, many of the teenagers, is it must be good.
Our fear of their use of drugs and their sometime reluctance to bathe often clouds our view of the wider significance of what this subculture is attempting. they have refused to subscribe to the prevailing values, goals, and morals of their middle-class parents. They are intent on doing what they feel we only talk about doing, respecting the individual freedom of others, seeking and perfecting such ideals as tolerance, brotherhood, love, and cooperative ventures. Pot is here, and speed is here, and acid is here. The symptoms, if not the cause, of a far more deeply rooted set of social circumstances. The seekers of the psychedelic world of pot, acid, yoga, and hopefully truth are not the downtrodden of our society. In the Bay Area, they come from Pacific Heights and Piedmont, as well as the Mission and West Oakland. Many of the younger seekers run away from society by running away from home.
I think they want freedom. Their parents don't understand them, first of all.
How do you mean?
Well, their parents, you know, like, they want long hair, and their parents say, no, you're going to be like every other Tom, Dick, and Harry. But Mother, I don't feel that way, you know, and they don't understand, so they're being cruel to them. So that's why they leave home. They want to go somewhere where they're understood, and the hippies understand.
And the parents don't.
And parents don't. They just don't understand you. They don't have an open mind like the hippies do.
Well, it's not like that with most parents. Well, in Mexico, most of the American hippies down there, at least in my crowd, their parents don't say, you're going to be... They don't give good reasons for things. They just say, no, you don't.
They're not understanding.
No, they don't understand anything. They're real strict. You know, they're just...
All parents are.
Yeah.
How do drugs fit into this whole scene?
Drugs are...
Viewing it from what we've been talking about.
Well, talking from a, I guess you could say, second-hand account, it is essential to the scene. All my friends say that it's... Well, I don't know, it is a basic part, because, well, it's just so intensified. I mean, love, everything.
Like grass is a morale builder. I think it makes you feel happy and laugh a lot, and
but
it's just fun.
And grass can be channeled. The effects can be useful, tremendously useful. I mean, you can become, I don't know, stabilized to being self-confident.
And my friend, and it's just fun, I think. My friends told me, you know, like, they're on acid or something, and they go driving down the freeway, and all the lights are so pretty and stuff.
It changes everything. It makes everything. You can never feel out of place anywhere.
Sure makes people look funny too.
What do you think the main reasons are for kids, not necessarily on summer vacations, but for dropping out of high school and essentially running away, although it's not a good word? What are the main reasons? Why?
We have no freedom of mind or anything, you know, to think what we want to think. We have to learn something that they learned back in 1932 or something from an old textbook. You know, it doesn't help us any.
What are the role of parents in terms of making people or encouraging them, in a sense, to run away?
I don't know. Parents, I don't know. They smother you. They tell you you're grown up one minute, and then they say you're not. You know, like go to school and be like everybody else, and then they tell you to be different. You know, they're just...
Well,
is it tough to kind of get along with them in terms of discipline and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that a constant source of irritation, you think, to the runaways?
Yes, it is, really. Because, like my parents, I can play them against each other and get what I want.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, parents shouldn't be like that. They should, you know, just say one thing or not do it at all.
Is there any social pressure now for particularly high school kids to turn on?
Most, you know, high school kids that do turn on, they brag about it.
They do brag about it.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
They come along and, hey, wow, man, I dropped acid, you know, and it
And
gets
then you
all
hear
out,
about
and then
it.
all of a sudden they're busted because of what they did, you know.
Brag too much.
Is there a sort of one-upsmanship? You know, I've had 100 trips.
Yeah.
How many have you had?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing they base kids, like high school kids, base it upon. I've done this more than you. Wow, you know, don't talk to me.
This individual is actually experiencing the effects of LSD. She's on a trip that may last for 8 hours. What you're watching and hearing is one of the end results of the impact of LSD on the human mind.
Hope is to be fortified by courage, which can accept failure with equanimity. Enthusiasm harnessed by wisdom, which knows now to wait the fruit of action with patience. Idealistic dreams of the future are balanced by a sense of actualities of the present, and a glow of love allows itself to be illuminated by the free and unpampered play of reason. Desire for nothing except desirelessness. Hope for nothing except rise above all hopes. Want for nothing and you will have everything.
What's it mean?
It's, what does that mean?
Yeah, what did you just read?
It's so simple.
Desirelessness?
Yeah.
You understand that?
To desire nothing. This is something that you want to, this is like reading and having an experience at the same time. You can't, you know, read from something like this, but I could read a normal magazine, you know. Like, reading this book is, you know, I mean, like, that's really where it's at. I mean, that's what's happening to me now. Well, everything that you look at is, like, in depth. And it looks, you know, I mean, I go through different periods of, like, touching something and I can feel it completely, or just looking at something, sometimes it will be completely flat. And then, like, at certain parts of your eye, everything pulsates. But it reacts to you, really, because LSD is such an individual thing that whatever, you know, I mean, whatever you're experiencing is like what's happening around you. That's all. I mean, it's so individual that if it comes from within yourself, it's not the people that make it good or bad. It's the kind of vibrations that you yourself sort of send off, I think. It's like being enlightened. I mean, it's so beautiful. I took it one time when I was in Yosemite, and it started raining and it was warm. And I was in a meadow, and it was so beautiful. There were just rainbows all over the place. It was like being aware. It's like looking through a dirty window that just got washed.
Many of the kids that are now consuming LSD and marijuana and various other drugs are doing so because they tend to be seeking a new mystique, the hip mystique. And they've heard about this hip mystique through television, radio, newspapers, and they're being drawn towards the Haight-Ashbury and Greenwich Village and college campuses all around the country to try LSD and various other drugs, mainly because of group pressure, but also because they feel that there's going to something is going to happen to them. Some of the misery that they may feel is going to be alleviated. This is not true. LSD is not a panacea, nor is penicillin.
The new culture represents an entirely new way of life. It says words like love, and that touches the heartstrings of many young people and many older people who've missed it, who've missed expressing it and feeling it. LSD, the other psychedelic drugs, have been associated with this search, with this quest for love. In the old days it was said that LSD gave you love. It gave you a glimpse of that reality which society lacked. Meher Baba quoted a great Persian poet who said, "Alas, alas, I pity those who compare a glass bead with a pearl. And this is what's happening, I think. The LSD experience, transient and artificial, though profound and dramatic, is being taken for the real thing. Perhaps one of the most dangerous things about LSD is that it can lead a person to thinking he knows everything and no one can teach him. And when you stop learning, you stop growing.
I think if people will be so narrow-minded as to not to accept the reasoning that we're trying to present them about our use of psychedelic drugs, then that's all I'd like to say to them is that LSD is fun. And we enjoy LSD, so therefore, if we enjoy this...
I would like to experience something tomorrow and the day after that, and to have it unfold.
Well, you're not going to go on LSD and all of a sudden now you're going to know the rest of your life.
To a certain degree, you have spoiled. You have expanded your mind to the point where you are one of the universe.
Why have you spoiled it?
I don't want to be one of the universe.
That's that much more that you know, though. That's that much more that you know. Would you rather see a person in Ophelia sitting in a corner, 22 years old already, an old maid?
No, I don't want to, but I think if you people keep on doing what you're doing, you're going to be sitting in a corner at 40 years old, and you're not going to know what's going on. Somebody's going to be going it on for you, because you just won't be able to make it.
To Dr. Arthur Carfani, who heads up the IMPACT plan at San Francisco General Hospital, the isolated, outstretched hands are not enough.
Well, to date, our business, if you want to call it that, has shot up to a terrific amount. For instance, yesterday, approximately 14 people were brought into the hospital for adverse reactions directly attributable to drugs. So I would say that this has really increased the amount of dealings we have with the under 22, 23-year-old age group tremendously. It's a rather mixed thing. For some, it's the beginning of a long-term psychotic process. For others, it's one more adverse reaction which possibly will terminate within 48 hours, but certainly any type of psychotic reaction is something that's going to leave scars in the person's development. It's a dangerous thing. It's certainly, if you want to put it on a physical term, it's quite a public health menace as far as we see it. Recently, we've begun to see an increased amount of youngsters. Just the other day, there were several 14-year-olds who were seen in the emergency section for drug abuse treatment. There is no explanation, because an explanation may to them pose as a justification, and I think they feel the need to justify their actions to no one. They say, at least, that certain things about the environment which they're in they can't tolerate, and they want to use Dr. Leary's phrase, drop out. And perhaps drugs produce a way of chemically dropping out. Unfortunately, also, many times emotionally drop out for good, and I think this is the bad part.
It is a federal offense to unlawfully possess, manufacture, sell, or otherwise dispense depressant or stimulant drugs in any territory or state of the United States. The term depressant or stimulant drugs refers to any drug, commonly known as a barbiturate or amphetamine, and also includes any drug having an abusive or hallucinogenic effect on the central nervous system. The unlawful possession, transportation, sale, or other dispensation of marijuana is likewise prohibited. In the state of California, the law likewise prohibits the unlawful manufacture, possession, transportation, sale, or other dispensation of narcotics, marijuana, peyote, dangerous drugs, and now LSD. California's definitions as to narcotics, marijuana, and dangerous drugs generally are identical to those of the federal government. The state of California's dangerous drug laws provide for both misdemeanor and felony punishments for violations thereof. And if the crime involves transportation or sale of a dangerous drug or LSD, the penalty ranges up to a maximum of 10 years imprisonment for repeat violators. The punishment for violating California's marijuana laws is a maximum of 1 year for a first offender and a maximum of life imprisonment for a 3-time offender.